Hi, I'm Emily Lau. In my research paper, I would like to write about the role of women in music industry. The introduction, I will introduce about the thesis statement. As just now I has mentioned, the role of women in music industry, and I would like to divide into two categories, and women in front the scene and women behind the scene. Women in front the scene are included musicians, artists. Women behind the scene are included producer, composer, and sound engineering. Um, to categorize these two parts, I will just focus at women in these two parts of role. So I will discuss about their purpose, how women in this music industry they can't uh, stand firmly in this industry. Why? I will discuss more about the reason in this paper, and the purpose that I will write inside is from woman identity. I will elaborate the history and education, the challenges, class ceiling effect, gender discrimination, salary gap, lack of opportunities, and last but not least, I will discuss about the successful woman in music industry. First, woman identity. I will discuss about woman identity, about the history part about women, from the traditional woman role. um, their their role are just doing the housework and just cleaning, take care of child, take care of their husband, and doing something that not related in the outside world. They just serving their families, and there is a status about women also as a slave, and women are treated as a low status and unequally between with the men. So women are not allowed work outside at that time of the early of the era, and not allowed for voting or have any education. Women are just below their men. Men ask them to do and what they should follow what the men tell them to do. So women are just like a slave life for that time. So for after the 19th and 20th century, there are feminism movement. Women start to have the opportunity to voice out uh, their voice and their thought. In this feminism movement, uh, they have three waves of this feminism at the Western world, and women start to say out their thought, their feeling, their to get their opportunity for what they want, for what what they want to do, and fight for the equal gender equality. So this is what I will mention about the history part about women and how they rise up at the feminism movement until today. Next, I will talk about the education also. In after the feminism, women start to have the chance to get education. They start to involve in the education, and they can choose what they want to study, and they have the chance to get into school, into more higher education certificate. So to get educated like men, so um, women have the opportunity to choose what they like and what they want. Uh, there is no exception for music also. For this day, women in music educated are quite a lot also. So through the research of the data research, musician in college or taking degree or higher qualification, we can see that women are 60%, taking 60%, and male are just 40%. This shows that female musicians are higher than male musicians who getting in the music education. So uh, this also show that in the education area, women are stand more than male. But come to musician in music industry, we can see that women are 36% only and male are 64%. So in this data we can see that female musician is less than the male musician in the music industry. How could this be? Why in the education women get more educated than men in music scene, but come to music industry, the outside world, women are less than men. Why this happen? Why? I will discuss further in my research paper about this reason. So now I will say about the challenges that women face in the music industry. The challenges women face are, one of them are glass ceiling effect. Glass ceiling effect is the barrier and the limits of to limit the level of the woman or other minority to get into one organization. And the glass ceiling effect stopped women to get more further towards their successful and towards what they want to do. So in this paper I will include the glass ceiling effect about gender discrimination, the sexism issue, the salary gap, and lack of opportunities. Okay, one of the issues that women faced in the music industry are gender discrimination. Women in music industry, they treated as a sex object. Let's say a singer or an musician, they always face the audience, they are in front scenes of the stage of the industry, so they always face audience, face people. So when they are performing, the audience or the people will just focus on their appearance rather than their talents. When they first stand on the stage, people will say, wow, this singer are pretty, this singer looks so sexy, this singer dress so nice, rather than wow, this singer sings so well, this singer are so good in the music sense. They will just focus the first impression, they will just focus on their appearance and image first, then only their talents. So many singers and musicians think that this is unfair to them, and sometimes the musician or the singers, they will face some humiliating problems about the words that from the audience. They will humiliate them with some unhealthy words. This will discuss in my research paper also. And the women behind the scene, they also face the gender discrimination problems too, but they no need to face the audience, they no need to face the front scenes people, but in the behind music scenes women, they have to work among the men, so they everyday have to face and work together with the men. Sometimes they been treated as a woman, and the manpower is more than women, and men will just look down of their talents. Like I saw a research, they say they asked a sound engineer woman, do you know how to record? Are you sure you know how to record the recording? Are you sure you know how to cut the recording? And this show that they are adapting the talents from the woman, and this is quite unfair to a woman. And why does they look the woman don't know how to do the recording? Why? So I think this is not fair to them. And sometimes women work behind the scenes. They always work among the men, so they have to face a lot of time. They have to hang out with men, and they have to hang out with them. So some of the men will treat them as like groupies. This is also a humiliating issues, so it's not so good for me, I think. I think this is not a good attitude to see towards women. And then here are some statistics and data that I found from the survey. Women musicians facing the biggest issue. We can see that being seen as sexual object are 45%, and not being taken as serious as their male counterparts are 36%, and being accepted playing a traditional male instruments are 19%. So the biggest issue we can see clearly are being seen as sexual object. So the biggest object in female musicians are the sexual object. Okay, next. The salary gaps. The salary gaps did exist in this area too. Salary gap is about the difference between men and women of their hourly earning. It states in different type of position between men and women in their working place, included the different payment, different experience, and different education level. Women work the same job but also get the lesser amount than men. Some of the company, they say through my interview, they say that women should get lesser because men are the household of the house. They need to support the house. They need to have more salary to give their house. So men deserve more than women. Besides that, men working load are more than women. Men work faster and they can do more things rather than women do slower and they do less things. So men deserve the more incomes than women. And there is a research also says that 78% of women in music earn less than 20,000 per year compared to 51% of men. So this obviously sees that there are salary gaps in this industry. Okay, next, the lack of working opportunity. Women can't stand firmly in music industry because they have many lack of opportunity and also some barriers blocking them to move further and stand firmly in this industry. People will have many expectations towards women. They have many expectations of working load towards women. Women should do this, women should not do that. They have many expectations to them. Example, they say women cannot take heavy stuff, just do the simple stuff in the studio, such sweeping the floor, making coffee, cleaning studio room, and so on. Women can just do this easy thing, and they cannot handle those um, hard thing and more burden thing. And another barrier that blocked women to work firmly in music industry are taking care of children and families. Women have to take care of their families and taking care of their children. If women in music industry, they have their families, they have to sacrifice their time either for their children or sacrifice their um, job. So women, why do I say this? Because let's say if a woman get a late night job gig, she have to go for the gig at late night until 3 p.m., 4 p.m. maybe, and at that time she had to sacrifice her time to taking care of their children, to educate their children, to accompany their children, their families. So I think this is a hard decision for a woman to do between families and job, to choose either one. To balance out these two things is difficult for a family woman. Next, I will say about the success woman in music industry. Why I want to discuss about success women in music industry is because I want to prove that there are women can stand firmly in music industry with their talents. I'm sure they faced a lot of challenges, but they still can stand firmly and never give up. One of the musician Catherine Kate Bush. Why I choose her? Because she is not just a singer and songwriter, and she even is a producer. She produced her own album. She worked out her own album. And she is one of the successful solo female performers in the past 35 years in UK. And she's the first woman in UK who took her first of written song. So I think she is a quite successful woman in this industry. Another one is Mandy Perenelle. She is sound engineering, and she have the she have her own studio, Black Saloon, and she lectures on mastering and music industry, and she have involved the Music Producer Guild and AES, the Sound Engineering Society. So I think these two women is quite influencing and giving the positive spirit about what they want to do and the successful of their determination in music industry. So women are not left out in music industry. For the conclusion, I will say about women had faced different kind of challenges. In the history of women identity, the generator of glass ceiling effects beginning, the glass ceiling effects included gender discrimination and sexism, salary gaps, and lack of opportunity. Yeah, in the history of the woman identity, I think it is influencing the mindset of everyone until today. How a traditional woman should be, what women should do. And this mindset already inside of everyone's mind. And if everyone change and improve this mindset, I think women can get more easier in the industry, not even music industry and other industry. Women can get more successful and stand more firmly in the working industry. Women also face many challenges, yet there are still many successful women in this industry nowadays, and there are in this day women are improving more and more women getting stand firmly in this music industry. And I believe that if women does not give up their passion of loving the music, I believe one day in the future, women can stand more firmly in the music industry, and women can get equality with men. Yeah, and everything will be uh, successful working by women. So this is my presentation, and thank you very much.